Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're at episode 4, I believe, of Wit Taylor season 3. Can you believe it? Season 3. You stuck with me this long. I'm so happy to see that you guys are all watching. So happy that I am still able to bring this to you. Still in the tea with my good Judy. Today we do have a jam-packed show. I have two very phenomenal guests today coming to you to give you coming out stories. If you've watched Tea with Taylor, if you've been keeping up, you know that I like to do this at least twice each season or so. So really looking forward to hearing this, and I hope that someone gets encouraged or what have you from what we have planned for you today. I want to start also by saying Happy Memorial Day weekend to everyone. Um, Hope you guys are staying safe and you have some sort of plans. If not, stay home and get comfortable. What else can I say? It's kind of the best thing to do if you ask me. Just go home, pull up a good movie, throw your feet up, relax, do what you got to do, grab your vice, and make it your own. But we do have Pride Month coming. Woo, wave a flag or something. We do have Pride Month approaching quickly. And I'm going to go right into that as my first hot topic today because it is getting hot, so to speak. We have Pride Month flag raisings coming. There are three of them that I am involved with, and it is being hosted by the Progress Channel. Um, can't wait for that. We have the Cranston flag raising that's going to be on June 3rd at City Hall. And actually, one of the guests here today is also going to be involved in the flag raising. So, looking forward to that. Then we have June 4th, the Providence flag raising, which is going to be in the Biltmore Park area. And we will be streaming live from the Progress Channel. But if you're local, please come down and enjoy, join us for the cause. And again, I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it. This month feels like this Pride Month has lost its way a little for me. And I'm glad that things are extremely different from the way they've been in the past. And so we have to approach this differently than we ever have in the past. And I believe that, and I hope that now in Pride Month, we can focus on the reason why we have Pride Month. The people who have fought for us to have Pride Month. Now we can focus a little bit more on the facts, the history, and take Pride Month for what it is, not just a party. And, just learning, having that knowledge. So I hope that we can focus on that a little bit more this. And then lastly, I believe there's the Newport flag raising in June 26th. Not exactly sure where that's going to be. I'll keep you guys posted on that on social. And I heard from the producer here at the Progress Channel that we're going to have mobile vaccines and HIV testing there as well. So looking forward to that. If you guys are looking for a place to do it, why not there? Come join us. Um, Moving right ahead. Since we are talking about vaccines, um, I saw in the news today that they are actually still debating the origin of COVID. And a few scientists, I want to say, actually believe that it was created in the lab still. We have been going back and forth with this a little bit in the news. Not very much coverage, but I am curious to know the outcome of this scenario here. If it was created in the lab, then who created it in the lab? How was it exposed? If not, I heard a theory that it was from a bat origin, which surprised me. But okay, we've heard that before in science. So keep an eye out for that. There's not very much coverage on it, and I'm not sure why because I really want to know where it originated from. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. We have the updated infrastructure bill that President Biden has placed out for us, and it is awaiting Republican approval. So this infrastructure plan has gone back and forth with the amount a few times. I want to say 3 times. I do believe it's important to take a look at our infrastructure. Our current infrastructure is failing us, and I do believe it's important whether or not the breakdown of those monies match up with the importance. That's another story. I will not comment on, but it is something that I'm glad that we're focusing on just a little bit. We do have to focus on the infrastructure that we have here in this country because it's failing us in a few different ways. That's another thing COVID has exposed in this current day and age. Um, Moving forward with that, now that we have new mask the new mask policy. and I'm going to say the updated mask policy, which makes me feel a little bit better. We're getting back to the norm, the status quo moving forward. Science, yay. But we have the updated mask policy saying, just to make sure you're still wearing your mask, to be weary when you're in groups, large groups, when you're in stadiums, and absolutely when you're on planes. If you have a compromised immune system, also still wear your mask, especially in public. And if you have any cold and flu symptoms, to still wear your mask. It is important to make sure we're still being vigilant. We don't want to spread this disease as we are overcoming this disease. And there are a few different strains out there that are still running rampant. So we're still in it. It feels good, but let's just be weary. And now with those updated masks policies, I also was seeing in the news that we have the New York City school system going back to in-person education. Um, Shocking because of the close quarters, if you ask me, for New York City. But again, with the updated mask policies, and I want to say here in Rhode Island, I heard we were up to 70% vaccinated, at least for every person with one shot. Those stats for New York maybe very similar or slightly less. I want to say slightly less. I want to say 60% or something along those lines of New York City is vaccinated, and they are looking into vaccinating small children. So, I'm slightly weary. That's going to be the theme today. I am slightly weary, but there's nothing like in-person education, especially when we're speaking to the development of smaller children. It is kind of difficult to force them to use this new technology. It is all new. We're still fumbling around all this new technology. So when we're developing these small children's brains and, introducing them to all these new concepts all at once, I do believe that in-person education is probably the most beneficial. So there's that. So you got that, Nate. I'll let you have that. And then in light of the mask update, again, we have airlines bracing for, the busiest season right now. And also what we're seeing is a rise in violence in airports and airplanes. Unfortunately, people are agitated. They've been stuck in the house for a year. People have been looking forward to traveling. I get it. I am one of them. But it, two of the fights that I heard of on separate airlines were over not being able to drink alcohol. Are you kidding? Like, sit down, get your flight. Wherever you're going, there'll be alcohol there. If you can't wait, then that's a bigger problem here. But yeah, they're bracing, and a lot of airlines are at a loss for what to do about this rise in violence. And I just don't understand. I can't completely comprehend why. But again, we've all been bunched up in our houses, not being able to do anything for about a year. And now we are slowly feeling the urge, the itch. It's getting warmer. So, be careful again and try a little patience, I would say. And like I always like to say, a little bit of compassion. We are a working class, so to speak. And if you're taking out your frustrations on this person, then that person can take their frustrations out on you. And it's an endless circle. So try a little patience. That's the way we're going to get through all there. um, Another really big one. We talked about police reform, and we talked about environmental injustice a little bit, and injustice in general with Harrison Tuttle on our first episode here. And a year later, we are revisiting the George Floyd trial. The officer who killed him was found guilty, but now the legal system is looking for a way to move forward and a way to enforce the things that happened there so that it doesn't happen again. And I am over thrilled to see that we are moving in that direction. I believe it's loosely being called a George Floyd police reform bill. I know maybe someone can correct me in the comments if you've heard another name for it, but this is a somewhat police reform bill that they're looking at right now, targeting different techniques and things that police have used in the past, different deadly force techniques that police have used that we can say bye to because it's unnecessary. And then the second part of that reform bill is focusing on police training, which I have been advocating for quite some time. I grew up in a family where I had my godparents and different and aunts and relatives that were involved in the police system, and it takes more than just one person here and one person there. We all have to get on board with this. And I do think that this is one thing that's rearing us into that direction. So we're going to make sure that this bill does actually change and bring us the change that we're looking forward to. So keep your eyes peeled for that one too. I think it's really important to make sure that we are staying vigilant with that too, because we can't let the cause die. Um, Moving a little bit forward, there's a rise in anti-Semitic attacks, unfortunately, that I also saw in the news, and that completely was disheartening to me. After the Palestine and Israel thing that just went happened, the ceasefire just happened, and we're looking forward to a peaceful outcome with that. And then we see this ugliness rear its head that is completely unnecessary. Rising attacks on Jews and anti-Semitic behavior. If we haven't learned anything yet, again, like I said, we can't let the fight die. If you haven't learned anything yet, then learn that no person deserves to be attacked. No person, regardless of who they are, what their color is, what their race is, what their religion is. No person deserves that, and it's unhuman to be the person that thinks that it's okay. Um, if we haven't learned that by now, then we are doomed as a society. No one should be targeted. No one should be attacked for just being who they are. And that's unfortunate. And that's another reason why I'm really happy to bring coming out stories to everyone here, because it does make a difference. Someone may be struggling with that. Someone may not be able to be as free as the rest of us have. And someone may be struggling with it internally. And it just helps to hear these kinds of things. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. One last hot topic that I really, really, actually two that I really want to share with you. Love her to death. Solange Knowles has created Saint Haran, which is a creative agency for underrated and underrepresented artists of all types. Solange Knowles is a beast. I love her to death. She is super creative. She's super intuitive. She's got her ear to the pulse in like so many different directions. For me, at least, I've loved following her hair transformation. When she got signed as a model, before we all knew who she was completely bald, hanging out in a shopping cart. I remember that. And then she started doing all these different things, and I'm like, okay, I'm here for this Solange. And then she came out with music, and she's been, doing art. And actually, she is going to be one of the creators of one of the pieces that's going to go in the Saint Haran agency. So we're looking forward to what she's creating for that. Looking forward to the artists that she'll find through that, and anything that supports the arts, I think is amazing. But I'm glad that someone who's got a stance the way that she does, that Solange Knowles has, and has the for lack of a better word, the privilege of doing so. I'm glad that she's now paying that forward and giving us what we need for that. So clap for Solange Knowles. Lastly, I really, really wanted to share with you guys, because you know how much I love it. RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars is back. Season 6. It's gonna be crazy. There's so many people in there that I think really deserve a second chance. Jiggly Caliente, Jan, Sonique, Pandora Box, Raja O'Hara, Scarlet Envy, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, Trinity K, Bonet, Yada Sophia, Eureka, Akira Davenport, and Ginger Min. I am upset that they put two big girls in the same competition, but it's okay. Okay. All right. We shall see who wins, because I'm going to be watching. And with that being said, that ends the hot topics for today. I hope you guys keep up. If not, flip it and reverse it, rewind. You can go back and watch it anytime. YouTube, Facebook, all that good jazz. But I am going to now move into our coming out story, because I'm really excited about it. Really want to listen. You guys have heard me yammer on for quite some time now. And first and foremost, I want to bring on local state senator Tiara Mack. So give your virtual applause for her. Hello, Tiara.
Hi.
There you are. There you are. Okay. I was like, I think you might be muted. That's okay. Hi, how are you? You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Of course. I was just talking about Miss Solange and her bald head. And I'm like, oh.
Yes, fresh cut, fresh from my barber like 20 minutes ago. Thank you.
Yeah, we talked about the importance of having a good barber earlier. It's really it's like no other. But I want to give you your time. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tiara.
Yes, I am Rhode Island's first openly queer Black state senator. Um, and I was elected last fall, and this is my first session, and we're winding down to kind of like the tail end of it. But it's been really exciting to lead. A little weird during COVID, but really excited to lead. Being a Black queer person who's unapologetic and fighting for the issues that the people want.
Oh, absolutely. And you have been busy. Trust me, I see.
Yes.
I try to keep my eyes and ears peeled for the local things. And I believe it was you that said, it starts at a local level. That's where the change starts, and that's where it will continue. So I always try to make sure I'm staying abreast of what's happening. And you are one of those people who are the fire is lit. I see it. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
of course, you're welcome. Thank you. No, honestly, thank so tell us a little bit about, you always lead with being a queer Black woman. Tell the viewers a little bit about how it was that you came out and a little bit about how that made you feel.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different times that I've like kind of come out into the world. I remember in sixth grade, I had like my first crush on someone who was in my classes. This is like before like phone. This is before like texting and phone call, like
That's
before
so
like cell
cute.
phones. So like we would call each other on like the house phone and it'd be like, oh my God, how are you? Oh my God, how are you? And then like she was like, oh my God, I really like spending time with you. And then it was like, okay, cool. And I was like, we literally just talked on the phone. Typical like sixth grade, like 11-year-old, 12-year-old. You have no idea what you're doing, but you're
You
just
have
like, oh
no
my God.
idea.
Exactly. You're like, oh my God, we talked on the phone for like 10 minutes. It's true love. And then I remember from then, never really exploring like my queer identity. I grew up in the conservative Christian South. It was like my biggest nightmare to have anyone find out that I had like a
Yeah.
crush on someone in my class and that she'd a crush on me back. And so it wasn't until college when I joined my rugby team where I saw so many like queer folks, out and proud queer people of color, especially like there were Black lesbians, Black gender nonconforming and non-binary folks. And that was like the first time I really saw people who looked like me, who
Yeah.
were a part of our like colorful community. And so that was, I remember I was still a little bit afraid for people to like know that I was queer. And I was like, oh my God, no one can know I'm a lesbian. No one can know. And they were like, we know,
Oh
we
yeah,
know.
I know that for sure. I've been in that position, unfortunately. Like you said, the only gay Black male growing up that I saw in the '90s actually started. It's really sad, but it started with the Real World. One of the
Yeah.
first seasons, they had a Black gay male, and I was like, "What's gay? What's what?" And growing up in a Christian family, again, they sure didn't tell me. So I know how that is. A lot of my family is even from the South too. So it was pretty similar to what you said there. And then when you finally did like explore that, how did it make you feel?
Yeah, it was definitely like going back I have an older brother who originally came out when I was in seventh grade. So this was his first year of college. So having another older sibling navigating it definitely gave me kind of like, okay, what to do and what not to do. And when my older brother came out originally as gay, and now he a couple years ago came out as trans, and has like since transitioned, just like seeing my family embrace him in the different ways, like, okay, this is like a pretty safe place. Like definitely some drama at the beginning, but seeing my family still be really close to my older brother and really like welcoming him and trying to understand with all of
Yeah,
their faults, I think gave me a little bit more courage, not being the first one in my family. Not being the first one in my family also gave me just a little bit more push out the door than some other folks. And then it wasn't until I had my first relationship in college where I was like, okay, I can like, I think that was like the common misconception. Like you're not really like part of the LGBTQ plus community until you're like dating someone in the LGBTQ plus community.
yeah,
So it really was hard for me to come out until I had an identity that was attached to someone else. But after that, it was like much easier. And then there's the other times I've come out in my life, being a high school teacher, coming out to my high school students shortly after the 2016 election. And then having so many queer students afterwards really find an affinity with like staying after school, talking. And now I have so many of my former students who are part of the LGBT plus community who are like, wow, Miss Mac, like it was really great having you as a teacher, or like, oh my God, I remember you making math so fun. And then coming out in workspaces and coming out as an elected official. I think one of the scariest things, it's like, well, do I tell everyone up front and just like keep on saying it so no one else does? Or do I like kind of keep it behind the scenes until it becomes like a thing? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like say it as many times as possible so people honestly get sick of it.
Yep. And like you said, you had to come out so many different times. I can relate to that too. I came out about 3 separate times. I remember having Jaden Vieira on here, and he was talking about how he had to come out multiple times, how he transgendered, and all the above, you know. And my family just was like not trying to hear it. So it took me dating someone from my high school, another man, for them to be like, oh, you were serious. Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Like it's like not validated until you start dating someone, like you said, and it's quite strange.
Yeah, it's so weird. They're like, oh, well, you don't know, or just all of the other things that like my family back in like the early 2000s and like the 2010s, like definitely a different culture. And now it's like people are talking more about queer identity, what it means to be queer. It doesn't have to be tied to a relationship. Like you can be a single queer person, and it's like not the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah, no, I was just having that conversation the other day. I'm like, what is crazy and what is normal? Because everyone has a different definition of that. I don't know if it exists. I don't know if crazy or normal. I don't know because I'm a little. I don't know. I don't know. I'm hesitant. Like I said, that's the theme for today. I'm weary.
Yeah, I'm weary.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I really love hearing that. And, you know, we are a little bit stronger for it as individuals, as queer persons, for forging that way. And no one else does it for us. We have to forge that way for ourselves. So I believe it makes us a little bit stronger and it makes us who we are. And you're a phenomenal woman. So you did it right, I guess.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the next generation of folks who don't have to like come out like multiple times. They can just like be and say their pronouns and like introduce their partners or like enter into a space and it not be a big deal. But I think definitely we're at the tail end of where like coming out is like it's an excursion out.
Yeah, I like that. It's an excursion, not a journey. It's an excursion. I love that. It sounds fancier, and I love it.
Yeah, fancy.
But yeah, you know, a lot of I feel like it's a little bit harder for queer women to make their make their queerness known and to have their place set in life. So I'm really, really again grateful, so grateful that you can share that and that we can also have that knowledge, like you said, in these new relationships and these new bonds being formed as of late. And looking forward to how that pans out, like you said, so we can walk into a room and it's not so strange or unknown that we're asking someone's pronouns or being aware of non-binary folks, things along those natures. So thank you for all of that. I am going to say later to you for now, and we're going to come back and bring you on to play a fun game. So get your drink together, reapply a little bit, whatever you got to do, and I will see you soon, okay?
Okay, awesome.
Thank you. So next we're going to have Eunice David on, and I'm going to let her introduce herself because she's amazing. Hello, Eunice. You're here. Okay, awesome. I think you might be muted as well.
Yes, I was. So thank you for having me.
Okay, all right, you're here. Hello, Eunice. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you again for having me.
Of course. I love the big, beautiful smile. I'm so happy to have you. We actually have not had the privilege to meet in person, so this is my very first time interacting with you, Eunice, and I am already overjoyed. So tell everyone a little bit about Eunice David. What do you do? What are you into?
Okay, so a little bit About me, again, my name is Eunice David, born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island. That's where my heart is. I'm a dancer. I'm an artist. I do spoken word. I do art. Um, I also am an aspiring model, so I've been doing that recently. But I'm also a mental health counselor and a DV advocate for the LGBTQ community at Blackstone Valley Advocacy Center. So I
Oh,
do it all.
okay. You got it. You are doing a lot. Wow. I am so amazed to hear that. I thought that I did a little bit too much, but wow, you are knocking it out the park, girl.
Thank
That sounds amazing. I'm really happy to hear that you're working with mental health. I do a little dancing and a little bit of modeling myself too, so
yeah.
we're gonna have to get together on that one.
Yeah.
I did not know that you did spoken word. We are actually looking for someone to do spoken word for those flag raisings that I mentioned earlier in the hot topic. So just stick around. We might just book you for that. Um, if you're available, of course. But tell us your story. How did you come out when you came out and how that made you feel?
Okay, so um, I knew since I was 4, and I always tell people that because I just knew um, that just seeing how society was, and I knew something was just a little bit different about me, which was fine, but I had to keep that very quiet for a long time until again I was 12 years old and I had a crush on someone in my neighborhood. And I was so young, I didn't know what it was, but she was gorgeous. And I just remember just having these feelings like I wanted to always hold her hand. I always wanted to be around her. And so my coming out story has been a tough one for me, to be honest. I remember after that situation, and then my family had found out that, you know, my friend, I had ended up having so many feelings for her. So when they found out, they were not happy. And that is because I'm Liberian, I'm African. So in our culture,
Um,
it's something that is not talked about, it's something that is not practiced, but um, a lot of it is behind closed doors. So in the African culture, you got to be, the woman is a woman, the man is a man, and that's how it is. And
mhm.
so for me growing up, being who I was, it was hard to disclose that to my family. So after that situation, I could not ever show that I was into a girl or a woman, I went through my life dating cis men. And again, I felt like I didn't feel that emotional connection. I had to hide myself. When I honestly think from the age of 14, I was angry every day, angry every single day because I know that I was not happy, And a lot of the people that I was close to, they were cool and, I had great times. But again, I was living a lie and I was not happy. Um, and so there were certain times I wish I could have came out. And I wish I could have came out in high school. But again, in our culture, education first. So like the main thing my parents wanted me to do was just go to school, don't date, nothing like that.
They want you to be a doctor?
Of course, that's how it is.
I knew that. I knew that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I knew it before I asked. Sorry.
That's what they wanted. And just things are so different. So uh, the ending of high school, I started dating. Again, I dated a male, and I was with that person for a long time. But majority of the relationship was domestic violence, um, a lot of it. And sadly, it was hard because I felt guilty because I was like, this person that I'm with, I'm struggling with something, and I know they were struggling with something, and
Yeah,
so it wasn't a happy relationship. And it's not until I was 19, I honestly said to myself, I have to figure out what's going on. Like, you know, do I want to be with a woman? So I got to know a lot about the LGBTQ plus community. I went to prides, I did my research, and I felt comfortable. It felt like home. But
Mm,
again, still being young, I was still nervous.
yeah.
I went to college. I saw a lot of different groups that welcome LGBTQ community, and like they were still open arms, and I'm like, I want to be part of that community, but how do I, you know, be happy with myself, please my family, and stay in a relationship that I'm happy in, and it came to the like 2015 when I ended the relationship. um, we both were honest with each other what was going on, and I felt relief.
Wait,
um, yes, so much weight lifted off my shoulder, like, oh my god, so much. And it was like right after I graduated from college, so I was like, I'm about to just be me, I'm about to be a free rainbow bird,
there's
and
rainbows everywhere.
yes. And so I remember, um, I remember just starting my life over. I was in a relationship for so long. I had to do a lot of healing. I had to do a lot of self-love, self-care. And that's why, mental health is so important to me. And that's why I became a counselor and an advocate for domestic violence, because there's so many people in our community that struggle every single day and might not have a voice. So I'm always trying to be that person that they could come to, feel comfortable, be themselves. At Blackstone Valley, we do a lot of referrals, a lot of case management for the community, and we just newly opened in Providence. We open in Providence, but we do have a location in Central Falls. But, I will be doing a support group where I'll be able to help, people in relationships, people who were victims and survivors, because I know so many people are in relationships that they're not happy with, and still trying to be themselves and really love themselves in this day and age. Self-care and counseling and just healing, it's so important. So at the end of the
It's really important to make sure you love yourself. And I always say that here on Tea with Taylor. And again, I'm really touched to hear your story. A lot of people do go through that, and it's kind of not spoken about as much as it should be. It's kind of pushed under the rug, especially speaking of your origin and your African origin and things like that. It is a lot tougher. We hear about Caribbean, like Jamaican culture, who also feel that way. If you are gay, you are dead to them, and that is extremely frightening to hear from someone that is your family. And then dealing with abuse and things along those lines, it is, again, like I told Tiara earlier, it kind of creates who you are. It builds up who you are, and it makes us who we are as queer persons. It gives you the strength you need to be confident, and you never know what someone has gone through in their past to have that confidence. So that's why I love when I see queer women and queer Black people who are out there and who are not ashamed and who are just doing things for the community, and not ashamed of who they are, because it has taken us a long time. Even the ones that you think that are confident and that have never had to deal with it, trust me, those are the people who more so have had to deal with it, because they know who they are now, and no one can take that away from them. And that's the best thing about when you finally decided around college to finally say, you know what, I'm coming out. That's it, and I want the world to know.
And like everyone's happy. My parents are. I honestly, when I came out in 2016, my parents, like my mother, especially my mom, was so happy, and that was a risk that I was willing to take against my culture. I'm like, I'm gonna be me.
It's been created our own families within the LGBTQI community, and unfortunately, that is a necessity for most of us, because speaking to your story and many others, I want to say it was about 70 or so percent of people, of queer people who come out, are met with hardship after, purely because of that. But I'm going to continue this conversation, but I want to bring Tiara back in to join us and have a little chat before we get to that game. Tiara, are you there? Yay!
I am. I'm ready for a game.
Okay, you guys kind of like almost look like you're in the same area. Did you guys join forces?
I know, right?
That's hilarious. I was like, wait a minute, are you the same? That's great. That is hilarious. But, yeah, so we're talking a little bit about unfortunate and I believe there is a term for it, but violence within the gay community and violence within relationships, for one, is something that is unspoken, and so it happens way more than we think. For instance, one famous coming out story that I wanted to share with everyone that most people in my generation, even the next one, no, Frank Ocean came out in 2012, and he spoke about violence in relationship. That's how we figured out that he was coming out, because he was talking about this tumultuous relationship that he had with another male. And I believe there was some sort of violence as well, and that happens a lot, especially with male and male relationships. But it's not unheard of in the lesbian community either. Have you experienced that any way, shape, or form, Tiara?
Not interpersonal violence between myself and a partner, but I do know that interpersonal violence, especially amongst queer folks, even amongst female or femme-identified folks, is common, and it's definitely something that folks in the community need to and should talk about more. Just because we're quote unquote women, and we are not as aggressive, does not mean that we are exempt from interpersonal relationship violence. So it's definitely a topic that we should talk about so much more.
Let me write that down real quick. Hold on. Somebody, anyone? And then, Frank Ocean's story also spoke to the repression of, queer folks in the brown community. Eunice, you spoke about that in your own story. What do you think is one way to move past that repression, or move past that, for some, queer people who may be watching?
I feel like in this day and age, I think one of the things that is very important is we have so many different concepts and things going on. So we're Black, we're African American, we grew up in a struggle. We didn't grow up in a struggle. We, have two parents, we have one parent, so there's so many dynamics that are going on. So healing is so important in any shape or form. It can be through music, dance, or anything, something to express yourself, but also getting the healing through mental health counseling and things like that. Working through your issues, talking to your partners about what's their love language. We live in a world that social media is so crazy and taking over our lives that there are not healthy relationships that are displayed. They're not role models, not often for our community. So that's why it's so important for us to, have the conversations within our relationships, but also take a look at how our parents might, how they were in their relationship. I know in my relationship with my partner, it's very important that we do some type of counseling. It's very important that we have a conversation, about all types of topics. And that's why, like, we have a really good relationship. I never had, any TV situations, into partner violence or anything like that. But it's because we worked at our relationship while working on ourselves.
It takes work. And early child, like I was talking about a little bit earlier, early child development plays a huge role in that. So when we're looking at our parents and we're looking at our forefathers and other relationships that we've seen or that we know of, that's where we're starting to form our ideas of relationships. And I, for one, am a huge advocate for normalizing seeing more gay relationships and things like that on television, seeing more gay role models. Because, for me, I've noticed that it's okay for you to have a little boyfriend in kindergarten, for goodness sake, but it's not okay for your 5-year-old child to see a gay couple on TV. Like, there's something not right when you see those two dynamics. I know that you spoke on that, Tiara, about not seeing many role models, especially in the lesbian community, because I feel like even more so with seeing gay females or gay presenting females in any kind of limelight was sparse for a long time.
Yeah, we had L Word, and that was it. there was Ross's ex-wife in Friends, and that was the only other lesbian.
Oh my goodness. You have Rugrats, but that was incognito, because the Phil and Lil's mom. Excuse me, if that's not, I don't understand. If that's not a queer woman, then
yeah,
then
they
I don't know.
definitely had some queer people who were not out here in these streets broadcasting their life, but like we could see it whether we wanted to or not.
We could see it.
How long have we been talking about Queen Latifah, and then finally?
For real.
True. true. And those were some icons that we've had in the past too. That now even more so saying, I wish I would have been able to do this sooner, but here it is. This is what it is. Get used to it. Normalize it. It's what's happening. So it's funny that you mentioned Queen Latifah because she was one of the big ones for me. I was like, I cannot picture her dating a cisgendered male. Please,
Yeah.
someone please help me. Someone help me help her so that she can just I love her to death, and Mama Matron will forever be her image in my head. I don't know. I'm never gonna forget that. So that's how I see Miss Queen in my head. But again, I want to say thank you so much, ladies, for giving me your stories, for chit-chatting with me today about these things. It is super important and a really big thing, like you said, Eunice, with mental health, and I love to draw attention to that and all the good ways, all the positive ways, and making sure that people take care of themselves, especially in this day and age where we have all been kind of like, oh, what the hell? So it's really, really, really important. So I'm glad that we were able to throw that in there a little bit. But now it's time for a game. Yay! So I have a new game for you guys. It's called the 5 second rule. That's what I'm calling it. And I'm really excited to play this because I can't wait to see the blunders. So are we drinking? Because I wanted to add another layer to it if possible.
I mean, I can grab a drink.
I can grab something.
I mean, yes. Yes,
Okay,
you have exactly 2 minutes. Eunice is not playing games. She took off. She said, excuse me, I can go get a drink real quick. Love that. So again, guys, we're playing 5 second rule. And I told the ladies a little bit earlier the rules. It's basically going to be I'm going to name a category and I'll give them 5 seconds. I'm going to put up 5 seconds in my hand, and they have to name 3 things in that category within those 5 seconds. And now that we have drinks, I'm going to even add an extra layer to that. So the way we decide the winner today is whoever gets the most right. But when you get it wrong, you're going to have to take a drink now. Yes, I love the red wine. I can't wait. I have a bottle that I'm waiting to crack. It's Josh Sellers. It's my favorite brand. I have been waiting. I'm like, oh, I can't wait.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's Friday.
Yeah, that glass is gorgeous. Love that.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so ready.
So I was explaining the rules again to the viewers, and now that you both have your drinks, I'm adding another layer. So the way we're going to decide the winner today is whoever gets the most right. But when you get it wrong, if you're unable to say 3 in 5 seconds, you have to drink. Okay?
Okay, I'm just practicing right now.
Okay, all right. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to put 5 seconds on my hand. After I say the category, your 5 seconds begins. And I am going to just throw them out there and see who gets 3.
Wait, do we go at the same time?
Ooh, I was going to say just yell them out, but one of you might be louder than the other. I don't know.
Okay, no, I'm fine with yelling.
You're fine with that? Are we fine with just yelling it out?
Okay, yeah.
Because then that gives the other opponent an advantage. If you wait to do one-on-one, the other person has time to think about it. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to throw it out there. The first category is Black feature film. Go.
Oh, Inkwell, Black Panther, and Friday.
Oh my God, my black card is revoked right now.
All right, I'll give you that. Eunice, got and drink. All right, so that's 1 for Tiara and goose egg for Eunice.
Oh my God, I could have said Boys in the Hood. I could have said Friday.
Night.
There's so many. I don't know where Inkwell came from. I don't know where that one came from, but I said it.
I was like, when I put that one down, I was like, there's at least like 15 to work with there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I got so nervous because every Sunday I watch different Black movies. So oh my God.
Oh my gosh. But that was my challenge to myself for Black History Month. Every day I wanted to watch a Black feature film, and I accomplished that. Me and my good friend Dion, Dion Seed, I had him come
Yay,
over. We had
Dion.
wine, we had drinks, and we watched a Black film every day.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, we were both doing some sort of a Black History sort of thing with our shows. So it was encouraging, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready?
Oh
5 seconds on the hand. Next category is 3 animals that aren't pets. Go.
Elephant, giraffe, hippo.
Ostrich.
Nope. Drink unit. You got that too, Tiara. Wow.
Oh my
I'm
god.
really competitive.
She said it right out the bat. Elephant.
I was. I'm like an Aries. Like
That was good though. Wow. I was impressed because that one I thought was going to be hard. Yikes.
I'm really competitive, so.
I was like, just think about what Michael Jackson did and then go off of that.
I'm gonna need a read
that. Were not pets. Koala, giraffe, alligator, all the above. None of his pets were like actual like pets.
Right.
I'm like, bro, what? I mean, rest in peace. Maybe. Okay, 5 seconds on the clock. So far, Tiara is blowing you out the water, you know. Ooh. All right, next category is celebrities who shouldn't be famous.
Kim Kardashian, Miley Cyrus, and oh my god,
Drink. Both of you drink. You were close though. Miley Cyrus. What's the tea with Miley Cyrus? You don't like her, huh?
No, I like her, but I feel like I don't know. She's iffy with me.
Her new stuff is good. Like she finally found herself. The
She's
stuff
finally
before that, girl.
I agree.
Yeah, because she has to go
As
from
a fellow
Disney
Sagittarius, I
to
get it.
being in the country scene with her dad to trying to emerge from Disney to twerking to falling in love at a young age, and now she's finally there.
That was hard
like,
for
I'm
me.
here, I'm queer, and I'm a rock star.
Yeah, thank you.
I like her, but I felt like for her to be famous, she needed time to like go through her stuff. But she found herself. I'll do that.
She needed her time. You know, that's the problem with being famous young. That's why I told the Lord, I was like, I'm not gonna be famous until after 30, y'all.
That's the bargain you made.
like so many others before me. All right, ready? This one should be pretty easy. 5 seconds on the clock. The category is household objects. Go.
Cup,
spatula,
wine opener, and a teapot.
Oh, wow. Okay. Y'all both got that with 2 seconds to spare. Shoo! We got Team Davis coming through. That was great. Wow. Okay. Excuse me. Maybe that was too easy. Okay. 5 seconds on the clock. The category is dog trick. Go.
Roll over, run, and march.
Wow. With 1 second left, y'all both got that. Okay. Calm.
As my dog's looking at me right now, like
Eunice's competitive edge just kicked in.
Right.
I got this.
Okay, let me step in my game.
Ooh, shoot. All right, I'll give you one that's not so hard, but not so simple. Okay, 5 seconds on the clock. Category is finger foods. Go.
Sandwiches,
corn dogs,
and cookies.
Drink. Eunice drink. I think Tiara got that. I think.
I feel like she did.
Well, take a drink. Oh, wait, what was your first one, Eunice?
Finger sandwiches.
I'm not. That's cheating. Finger sandwiches.
Corn dogs. So
I love that, and it got me so hungry after I heard that.
My go-to finger food is fries. Unfortunately, I'm trying to do less fried food, but those are a
staple. You can't give those up too easy.
I comfort myself by saying it's potatoes. I need the starch. Fine. All right, ready? 5 seconds on the clock. The next category is ice cream flavors. Go.
Cookie
Mint
dough,
chip, vanilla,
Snickers,
chocolate,
and strawberries.
Cheeto, Rabbit Cut.
Wow, we got some ice cream lovers. Y'all both got that. Okay, big up, big up.
I have at
That was
least 2 pints of ice cream in my freezer at any time.
right this second.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know what I was just talking about with a friend? What happened to butter pecan?
Right? What
For
happened to her?
real.
Excuse me. That was one of
She
my
was
favorite
good.
things. I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm like making a conscious decision. And where did it go? What happened? Where is it?
Yeah,
For real.
she was really big in the South. I don't know if it's just like up north it's not a thing, but like down south you can't go nowhere without butter pecan ice cream being on the menu.
I'm upset. Somebody needs to tell me something, please.
Seriously.
I'm wondering if it was just me that realized that it completely disappeared.
Maybe we all just imagined that it was a thing.
Oh my God, imagine.
I don't know. This is why I don't trust the government to begin with. All this. Okay, all right. I got two more. Yeah, yeah. Wait, one. Yes, two more. Okay, so you got a chance to catch up, Eunice.
Ooh.
You're right behind, but Tiara's two ahead of you, so
All right.
you shall see. All right. 5 seconds on the clock. Category is national sports teams. Go.
New York
Football,
Mets,
basketball,
Patriots,
field
and
Oh, Eunice, drink.
hockey.
oh,
What's the last one, Tiara?
I said hockey.
Oh, okay. All right. You're right. You got that. You got that. Because you said it before the time was up. You got that.
At first I said field hockey, and I was like, I don't know if that's a national sports team.
I just, I assumed that we would at least have a New England team in there and then the two New York teams. That was my thinking. Because
I
those
just
are the two
think
mashups that
broad
make me.
categories of sports.
Just any sport.
Yeah.
Any sport. It could be a volleyball team, for goodness sake. I don't know. I played football, soccer, and track, so those are my go-tos right there. But track teams, I don't remember their name. Who does?
Team USA.
Right? USA, go. Yeah. They're boycotting that. Did you see the next Olympic place that we're supposed to be having the Olympics? They are actually saying they do not want the Olympics to happen because of COVID and everything still. They do not want it. And that's becoming a really big problem for planning future Olympics because nobody wants it at this point. So yeah, just a little team on that. I was like, oh boy, the Olympics might be going the way of the movies and just be like,
bye.
exactly. Wow.
I don't know. I'm again, theme of the day. I am weary.
Exactly.
Yes, we're
All right,
tired and weary.
right? Like my parents used to say, sick and tired.
Hammer. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Sick and tired.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right, 5 seconds on the clock. I got one more. And the topic is. Oh, wait, hold up. I lost my place. Oh, this should be easy. Okay. Category is car brand. Go.
Mitsubishi, Toyota, and Nissan.
Hyundai, Kia.
Yeah. Okay. Queens came through. Y'all both got that one. That was amazing.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say I think Tiara got this one. Unfortunately, Eunice. But that was so much fun. I'm glad that you both were like beasts at that. Jeez.
Yes, that was so
and Tiara was thinking I was throwing a curveball.
I'll sip to that. Yes, to you.
To finish.
Aw, thanks. Yes, let's have a little drink. And I will let you and everyone else have your back to your Friday evening, I promise. But how about we leave? Tell me something you want to leave with the guests today. Anything you want to promote that's coming up. And I'm going to start with you, Eunice, because we started with Tiara a little bit earlier first. So tell me a little bit what you want to leave with the guests today, with the viewers.
Living your truth. Don't be afraid to speak up. And also, if you're looking for services, I'll be at Blackstone Valley Advocacy Center.
Yes, thank you so much. I love that. And it's super important again. So I'm really glad that we can direct that to you, so to speak. And Tiara, what do you want to leave our viewers with today?
Yes, be unapologetically you, live bravely, boldly. Really excited for Pride Month. There is some awesome LGBTQ plus specific legislation that you can start supporting now to make sure that our community is represented in any policy that we pass this year. Follow me on Instagram at Mac District 6 or Twitter or Facebook, all at Mac District 6.
Woo-woo. I hear you. Okay, get the socials out there. Yes. Okay. Again, you guys were not ready, I'm sure, but thank you so much to you two amazing, amazing women, forging paths for yourselves and for future generations. I am really glad that we've had this moment to share. Let's see you both in person sometime soon. Now that we have that possibility, so
Yeah.
thank you again, and looking forward to that. I am going to say, everyone just look out for promotions from me and the Progress Channel for the flag raisings coming up in Pride Month. Look out for some new things coming from my fashion company, Neptune Incorporated. I'm moving into something a little bit different that I've been kind of, again, weary about, but moving forward with it. And look out for next week, Wit Taylor. We're going to keep bringing you some real conversations, some fun games, and some fun guests. And I want you all to remember to be good to yourself. Make sure you're looking inward, and try a little compassion. That's all I can say to you today. Have a lovely Friday evening. Again, ladies, thank you so much. Viewers, thank you so much for following Wit on Instagram, Facebook, and we're on YouTube now. Soon to be coming to you on Spotify. So look out for that. And thank you so much again for joining me. You enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Have a wonderful day.